Welcome, business class. This is our first assessment, NCEA assessment for the year 90846. What I'm going to do is take you through some of the exemplars online so you've got a little bit of an idea about how to get some of these grades. So let's kick off here. What have we got here? This is let's get into an achieved. You can see, the first thing you'll see when you get into the exemplars is what you need. And this is all the stuff here. So for a low achieved, you're going to have all these things in your assessment. So make sure you've got all those, okay? And you can see that changes as you go up. Merit and excellence, you still have to have the ones for achieved, but you must have those ones as well. Okay, so when we get into an achieved, here we go, let's get into this. Some of the things you can look at here is in the aim. You should have an aim here. You should have written in your aim at the start, and you can see here's the aim. My aim is therefore to question the local population about whether they prefer tea or coffee. Okay, so one of the first slides I gave you was this one here, your aim, and make sure your aim is at the top. Sufficient demand and interest at Catholic Cathedral College for what? That is what you're looking for, and that's what you need to look for in your research. Let's have a look at why one of these ones fails. Here's a not achieved, okay? So let's see why they failed. And their strengths and weaknesses. We worked well as a team to collect research. We had very well thought out questions of our surveys. Our primary data was mostly quantitative. It's not related to the aim. If you look in the exemplars, your strengths and weaknesses, everything should be related to the aim. So that is very important for you when you're working through this. The next one, let's get in here. So you've seen an achieved, you've seen a not achieved. The not achieved, everything else passed, and the not achieved, look, they did all right. They had a good conclusion, they had good primary research, they had good secondary research, and they had an aim. But they didn't relate things back to their aim. So you've got one job in the marketplace to find out about your goods. That's what you need to find out about. I don't care what your group was like, okay? I don't care if you said we could be a bit more organised and try to do things, the assessment quicker. That's not the assessment. This is not a teamwork assessment. This is about your product in the marketplace. Here's a merit. Now for you. If you're looking at a merit here, you've got to look at the different amounts of detail, okay? So they've got their aim at the top. They've got their secondary research. They've put it in. They've put their secondary research in. They have some of that. You should be having those things. The primary research, you can see here, they've said they're more specific because they said the whole group chose different shopping centres. We decided this would give us more insight into how different locations affected the results. So clearly they understand the marketplace. If you want me to give you good grades, you've got to show that you understand the marketplace. Okay? Look at the detail. For the conclusion, they've put specific amounts in there. They've said they had a good sample of people. So you've got to start thinking, did I sample enough people? This comes back to one of our slides we talked about. Did you get a random sample, a systematic sample, a stratified sample, cluster, multi-stage? There was a video that we watched on the Google Classroom, and this was talking about sample sizes. How did you get your people, okay, to answer your question? So you're going to need to know that. Let's look at an excellence now. Here's an excellence for this one here. Oh, actually, I want to take you back to the strengths and weaknesses for this one, for a merit. Look at the detail in here. A weakness of our market research was question 2 of our survey. What area do you currently live in? All of these things here relate to their research. They even looked at their questions about how those questions worked. They had 102 questionnaires. Each group carried out 17 surveys. So they went through and they spoke about how that worked. They gave specific measurable amounts. Last one, an excellence. For those people looking for an excellence, there's an aim. The target market and direct competition. They know direct competition. They know what we're talking about here. They're using good market terms. They used a stratified sample within the simple randomly find individuals. So they're thinking about their sample size, approximately 10%. In their evaluation, what we can see here is they're making sure that the stratified random sampling method that we had a market segment. They're using sampling information. When they're talking about how to improve, they could hold a focus group. Why? They've got the quantitative data. Why? And more open-ended questions. So they've got specific things they want to do in the future. That is how you get an excellence, okay? So if you're looking through those bits and pieces, that's what you're looking for to pass this assessment. Now, these ways here were some ways in this slide. This was looking at some other things you could do, some other types of data, whether it be primary or secondary, things that you could do to improve. Now, it may not be too late. You may need to do some interviews to make sure you've got enough. So if you do, go out and interview a year 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That shows that you have here, for this one here, you've got a stratified sample. So you need to show why the people you asked were good if you want those top grades. Okay, thanks very much. That's it.